ladies and gentlemen of all ages, boys and girls. Thank you for tuning in to yet another episode of Angry Meat Production. We appreciate you coming in and letting us be a part of your lives week in and week out. We hope to do our best to present you with something that your eardrums delight in. Whether you're looking at us on YouTube or Rumble, or listening to us on Spotify, Google, or Anchor, or any of the other podcast services that we are currently on or trying to get on. We thank you. And if you don't mind, at the end of every episode, stop by, leave us a comment, leave us a like. If it asks for 5 stars, we'll take 5 stars, even if you don't like us. 5 stars are what it's all about. With that being said, we hope you enjoy our attempt to make our advocation our vocation. Ladies and gentlemen, let the games begin. Welcome, Angry Faithful. I know that you're used to seeing David's smiling face on the screen and him doing the announcements and the introduction. However, David had to work tonight because, well, David's got bills to pay. So you are stuck with the handsome infantry dynamic duo of Chris Jacka and myself.
The unambiguously gay duo.
The unambiguously gay duo. So, all right. So Chris and I have kind of a big reveal. No, it's not that we're ambiguously gay. That's
unambiguously.
Unambiguously. Thank you very much. No, tomorrow is Valentine's Day, and we know that our dear friend, our endeavoring producer / co-host, mostly friend, for him it's going to be Single Awareness Day, right? So I had an epiphany. And then I discussed it with my wife because I thought that it was funny. I chuckled inwardly, outwardly, LOL'd, LMAO'd.
I laughed for 10 minutes when you told me about it.
And I showed her the link, showed her my phone and said, "Hey, this is what I would like to do. What do you think?" And the first words out of my lovely bride's mouth was, "David." So
he's the obvious choice, really.
Exactly. So what is it that we did? I'm glad you asked. That is a great question. I went to a website. It is www.dixbymail.com. There are other cheap imitations out there, but don't be fooled. Go to the original. Yep. Upon perusing the vast catalog from chocolate buttholes to chocolate shit to white chocolate dicks to chocolate dicks, they even got calendars that are nothing but dogs pooping in beautiful places.
I've seen that calendar. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, so I mean, while I thought that the calendar might be the gift that keeps on giving year round, i.e. David would hang that in the backdrop.
You would too.
I texted Chris and I said, "Hey, I've got an idea," and I sent him the link. And like every good infantryman does, Chris immediately jumped on board and decided to ask questions later. But the questions that he asked brought no remorse, no regret, and no hesitation. Not only did we kick off that operation with a gusto, but I think we actually initiated H-hour ahead of schedule so that not only were the enemy taken by surprise, but our friendly forces were taken by surprise. So and it was delivered today. So once I decided, okay, I got the notification that it had been delivered. So I waited a little bit and then I texted the group. I said, "Are you guys ready? Are we on for tonight?" And, the conversation progressed. And then David finally chimes in and says, well, I have to work tonight. Otherwise, I'd be there. But you guys have got this. And I started dropping hints. I said, David, your boss can eat a dick. And then Chris says,
which immediately, I mean, that
right,
should have been the biggest tip off immediately.
right. And then Chris says, a big black one. And I said, balls in all. And then David texts us a picture that says, or something like this. And it was the opened box of a 5 to 6 inch long, balls in all, black. I mean, it was like, it had to have been milk or maybe dark chocolate dick.
It was impressive. It was very impressive.
And inside the box, on the inside of the lid, it said, eat a dick. And Chris and I immediately jump into.
Well, the best part of this is it's sent anonymously.
Yes, it's sent anonymously.
100% anonymously.
But so Chris and I jump into the whole innocent act, like, every good E4 does at some point during their career.
Deny.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, Summer. So, he immediately blames Chris, and he's like, "What the hell, dude?" And I was like, "I don't know, man. That sounded like he said, fuck you, Chris."
He said immediately it had to be Chris. Like, not even a question. Do you think no? It was it had to be Chris.
I love how you threw out the disclaimer that you wouldn't even know how to begin to send something like that. And then he immediately jumped into our super fan. Well, maybe it was Maria. And I was like, nah. One, yes, Maria would definitely do something like that.
Absolutely.
I said, nah, not unless she had your address. And he goes, well, I have no idea who it was then.
And what's funny about this, gentle listeners, is I had gotten his address from him through text messaging and my own little my masculine wiles. I was able to get the address from him.
I mean, you did get catcalled today.
I did get catcalled by an older black lady. Yes, sir. It damn sure happened.
Hey, I mean, I'm telling you, what did I say? Blacker the berry, sweeter the juice, right?
I'm saying, apparently, baby had his blue jeans on, so.
Hey, what? Yeah. But yeah. So I mean, David, happy Valentine's Day from us here at Angry Meat Productions, Nerd Sports. This is episode 96. We care about you, buddy. We didn't want you not having any candy for Valentine's Day. So, mazel tov.
And from the bottom of our hearts, eat a dick.
From the bottom of our hearts to the itchy part of the taint that we can't quite wipe well enough. It's like a marker down there. It just keeps coming up.
So yes, David, that was why I was asking you for your address.
Yep. And
gotcha. Got him.
And you can't really be too incredibly upset because I mean you can't be mad at my wife, man. It's just you can't. So you're welcome. This week's edition of Weird Sports is bog snorkeling. Bog snorkeling involves swimming through a 55-meter peat bog with snorkel and flippers in the fastest time possible. Swimmers aren't allowed to use conventional swimming techniques, but must propel themselves along using their flippers alone. And the bog snorkeling championships are apparently held in Wales. So from everything I've heard about the UK, everything backwards, inbred, and cross-eyed and monarchy-ish comes from Wales. You're welcome.
It makes sense. I would have said Scotland because the peat bogs there, but Wales makes just as much sense.
Yeah, just as much sense. So last night there was a football game apparently.
Oh, no way.
If I remember correctly, I mean our pick was really kind of hate fueled. So we picked the Kansas City Chiefs to beat the Philadelphia Eagles.
Completely out of spite.
Totally out of spite.
It wasn't even based on any factual thing. It just was 100%.
And to be fair, last night's game was actually one of the best Super Bowl games I've seen in a very long time. Next to the New England comeback against the Atlanta Falcons.
Yes.
But Yeah. So, and then immediately, I mean, as soon as that ball was snapped and Jalen Hurts attempted to throw a Hail Mary pass from his own 30-yard line, I started typing into Facebook, and my update last night was, I'm going to be the first to say it. Philadelphia is now 0-3 in championship games that it's played in this year. It lost in its Major League Soccer championship. It lost the World Series, and now it lost the Super Bowl. And in true fashion, in true Philadelphian form, they started to burn their city down.
Of course.
And there was crying and
Almost
screaming to the
immediately.
heavens in the streets. It was almost reminiscent. Where have I seen that before? Oh, that's right. 2016 when Trump got inaugurated. Man, it was, I mean, you hate to see it happen to a more beautiful city, but just
Yep.
saying. I mean, we can get into the whole, that was a holding, that wasn't a holding. The guy who committed the penalty said it was a hold. He thought he was going to get away with it, but the refs called it. So, I think the debate should have ended there. But I mean, Patrick Mahomes, I mean, he's not GOAT. That's Tom Brady. Will be Tom Brady for years.
Right.
But Patrick Mahomes did a lot to cement his status as a verifiable badass. I mean, the dude re-injured his ankle before the first half was, before the late in the second quarter, and then came out in the second half and absolutely guided his offense to that win. I mean, and he had a big run.
Yep.
So I mean, it was a well played game. I don't like rooting for the Chiefs, but I'm glad the Chiefs won it, not the Eagles. And to be completely honest, as Cowboy fans, really not even sure Dallas would have been able to beat the Chiefs last night. So
Yeah, agreed. I would even go so far as to say there was no way that they would have. They probably could have taken it against the Eagles. I still believe that could have gone our way, but against the Chiefs, especially the way they played last night, it just wasn't gonna happen.
yeah. Well, and in other news, now that football is over, and I'm not counting the US or USFL, not counting it, just not,
Or the Canadian League.
or the Canadian League. But now baseball, the floor is officially yours. In 2 weeks, officially, pitchers and catchers report for spring training. You are seeing players individually start to report to their spring training facilities already. I saw on Twitter today, Ryan Brazier is throwing live batting practice at the Fort Myers training facility for the Red Sox. Which, hey, great, good for you, because I need you to come back to as close as you can to the 2018 version of yourself. Because, bro, you're representing the 940. You're representing my hometown, Wichita Falls. You got to come a little bit better than that, man. Last year was just a train wreck. I mean, there's tons of people in Red Sox Nation that are calling for you to get DFA'd. Why you haven't is starting to spurn conspiracy theories that somehow you've got dirt on John Henry. I don't know what it is, but figure it out and silence them fools. I'm just telling you, okay, guy? All right.
I'm
So
gonna say it now. I'm gonna say it now while I still can. This is the Rangers' year. The Rangers all the way. I want to say it now before the season starts and dashes all of those hopes. I want to. I
right,
want to
because
get my.
after
I want
game
to say
one,
it in
yeah,
now.
after game one, it'll be much like the
100%.
Baltimore Orioles or the New York Mets, and they'll be officially eliminated from playoff contention.
Let me live my delusion for at least a few minutes here, please.
Hey, look, man, my oldest is the same way, dude. I mean, he is a Rangers fan. I mean, he's just like, oh my God. And don't get it cross-eyed or anything like that. The Rangers went out and spent big over the winter, and so I mean, they got a lot of really great pieces, including one of our pitchers from the last few years, Nathan Eovaldi, who is from Brazoria County, specifically Alvin, Texas, which is about 30 minutes up the road from here. So
Yeah,
the same.
nice.
And Alvin also happens to be hometown of the Nolan Ryan Express, Nolan Ryan himself.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
I'm under no illusions. Like I know.
yeah,
I know who we are.
yeah. So I mean, it's going to be an interesting season. There's been some rule changes. Um, And you'll notice that there was a lack of an introduction video, lack of a theme song. If David wants to go back in later and edit the video and add all that stuff in as he watches grinding his teeth and or possibly using a
He's
toothpick to pick pieces of chocolate out of his molars, um, as he witnesses in a lot of cases the um, well, the unveiling of the sender.
You're
So
welcome. I quite frankly am very disappointed that he didn't catch on to that sooner because we all but freaking told him in
right. I
text.
mean, I'm just sitting there going, how does he not put two and two together? Ugh.
I thought I let it slip when I said, "Oh, the timing on that," and then I had to backpedal and recover from it a little bit because I was like, "Oh
Yeah,
crap,
I
I
mean,
almost
dude,
gave
and
it
it
away."
was masterful. It was masterful.
But
We're gonna kind of skip ahead a little bit. I am going to bring Colin in.
don't
Um,
act.
so let me see if I can get him on here real quick.
That's right because we're on a abbreviated time here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be a short, quick, and dirty. Not unlike rendezvous with strippers in the barracks. I'm just saying.
Barracks buddies.
You know, like fat heads up under right.
Just don't want to be caught with them.
What is up, my guy?
Hi.
Hi. You okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, David got his present today. So yes, David, Colin is 100% aware of the situation. He has been
Yes.
he thought he had it figured out, and we basically, in so many words, informed him that he was wrong. So guess what, Colin? David is going to find out when he goes back to listen to this episode.
I cannot wait.
So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, angry faithful, it is that time once again that we have all come to know, love, expect, and yearn for. We've searched, we've reached, we've looked to the heavens and beyond. We've even brought Elon Musk in on the job, and he has built us a Falcon 9 heavy lift rocket to propel us forward into the future. So that way we may bask in the revelry and the wonder of all that it is that it contains. Joke time with Colin.
It's yellow and can't swim. A bus filled with children.
Oh,
There's more.
There's more. Okay.
of course there's more.
Why can't orphans get married? Because they can't get a parent's blessing.
Ooh.
I was gonna say because there's nobody to walk them down the aisle, but I like yours better.
He's like, there's more. Okay.
What do Michael Jackson and a PlayStation / PlayStation users have in common?
Oh God, I don't know. I'm afraid to ask.
They both get turned on by children.
Wow.
That is all, folks.
That's it. That's what you're ending with. Oh my God. Ooh. Well,
smoke for the fences on that one.
Good job on that, dude.
Oh my God. It's fantastic. That was
I'm
good.
gonna let you get back to playing your game because I can hear the click clacks of the controller. I will call you guys later this week, and I will see you this weekend for our extended weekend.
Yep.
I love you and your brother 3000. Give him a hug for me, and I will catch y'all later.
All right, love you.
Love you too, buddy. Later.
Later.
And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, the spaghettification that occurs when you approach the event horizon of a black hole. We are transported into another dimension, albeit it may have very well been the upside down, but we went someplace that nobody has ever dared to go willingly. You have experienced with your eyes and ears, your morality and your ethics be damned. This was Joke Time with Colin. Oh, I like that outro, man. That intro was great. That intro was on fire.
That was good. You need to start writing these down.
Right, a little bit of consistency. Oh, now also too, in addition to baseball coming back next Sunday, this coming Sunday is the Daytona 500. NASCAR is coming back, baby.
Oh yeah, boogity boogity boogity.
Oh yeah, boogity boogie boogie. All right, so we have got the race coming up. It is going to be it starts Thursday, February 16th, at 6 p.m. Central and 8 p.m. Central. It is the what's going to be called this year the Blue Green Vacations Duels at Daytona.
Really rolls off the tongue, doesn't it?
It really does. Not so much. So this is to kind of, I mean, once you qualify for the pole, I mean, this is basically to settle second, who starts second and third in the Daytona 500. And the rest of the starting order on that on this coming Sunday is decided by qualifying efforts. The actual race itself is going to be Sunday afternoon, the 19th at 1:30 Central, and that's 1:30 in the PM or 13:30 for those of you who refuse to give up the 24-hour clock. So it's going to be a 200 lap, 500-mile event, 200 miles an hour, 6 inches off of each other's doors. Watch out because calamity will ensue and it will be glorious.
It'll be a great race.
Sitting on the couch in front of my 75-inch TV with the surround sound provided by Bose turned up just a little bit extra so that I could hear the rumblings of the engine in my
No. You don't want to hear it. You want to feel it.
Yeah, well, like I said,
you want to feel like your ribs like moving.
No, I don't have $10,000 to drop.
Breathe.
Right, but I don't have $10,000 to drop on a Lovesac couch with that built-in surround sound bar.
We'll go halvesies.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, we can go halvesies. Yeah. All right, even better. No, even better. We can get a hold of like a Rent-A-Center or someplace like that for that weekend that you come visit.
Oh, hell yeah. There you go. Rent one for the weekend.
Oh, yeah. And then just tell them, hey, here, we don't want it. I mean, it didn't feel right. It was clunky. It was not comfortable at all.
Oh, we could find something. We'll find some lies to make sure to can take it back.
Not lies, because we don't lie, because we are men of character and integrity.
Absolutely.
Nay, we will search back and we will reach into our history and harness the training that we have received. And to quote Mr. Spock, it's not a lie, it's an omission.
Yes.
So in
like
hockey, yeah, let me see here. Hockey. Let us take a look here. We've got,
actually have been keeping up on hockey.
Yeah, the Bruins are 39-8-5. They lost the other night to Washington at home. It was only their second home loss. We've got 10 minutes. But yeah, they're still leading the NHL and the world with 83 points. They're really gonna have to fall flat to not win the President's Cup this year. So I'm kind of excited about that. Man, in hindsight, I would have paid money to see the look on his face when he opened the box.
It would have been even better if we could have been there in person. That would have been.
Here's my question. I'm willing to bet that that box at least had a plastic seal on it.
It had to be like a
You know, like the
just
plastic
a
tray with
plain.
the
Yeah,
plastic
it
tray with a
had to be like a
cellophane seal.
plain white box, or
Oh, no. The box was their 2023 limited edition Valentine's Day deck.
really
Yes.
limited
So
edition.
it was a decorated box, but on the inside, I'm talking about the tray that the penis was contained in.
Oh,
It
then
should have had a
well,
cellophane wrap, right? The
yeah,
picture you sent us did not have a cellophane wrap in it.
you're right, because it's food grade, so it would have had to have had some level of seal.
David, you got some splaining to do.
He took a bite. He took a bite on the back end and then put it back in there to hide it.
Well, the balls were a little misshapen, so I wonder if he licked them.
I mean, how else? Because he did remark extensively on how average size this. This wasn't that impressive. He made it sound like it was just a regular average.
Specific. I mean, it was an oddly specific.
Very specific.
Yeah. All right.
Well, not saying he traced the veins with his tongue at all. I'm not saying that happened.
Oh my God.
I'm not saying that he carved any little, accoutrements and extra hair on the balls himself, drawn from memory. I'm not saying that happened.
David, we wouldn't give you hell if we didn't love you, but
if we didn't like you, you wouldn't get anything from us.
Yeah, I mean,
although his retribution will be swift and terrible.
It will be something terrible, and not terrible in the sense that we are going to feel the pain. It's going to be terrible as that's the best you can come up with. Because he went through the painstaking trouble of researching websites and posted a link.
He went and found it. Like he found it quick.
Yeah.
It's suspiciously quick.
I mean, I used the original. I used the OG. I used Dicks by Mail. He found Dicks in a box.
I really want to know what came up in his search history, what he had to search in order to come up with that. That's what I want to know.
Granny self facials. Woo! Okay. David, again, nothing but love for you, brother. God. All right. Well, we've got roughly a little over 5 minutes left. Man. Oh, right.
This is a good one. This is going to be an interesting conversation tomorrow.
It is. He's going to be like, what the fuck?
It's going to be great.
Well, I mean, David, if you see the episode, because you're watching it on your phone while you're at work, which begs the question, why didn't you answer the 2-step verification request that you were getting?
It's killing you
out there.
Killing you.
Damn Smalls. Sky janitors, man, I'm telling you.
They're the worst.
But just know, David, that I will be up especially early tomorrow morning because I have to work from 6 to 10 before I go to class at 1. So yeah, feel free to text me, or after 10 o'clock, feel free to call me, and we'll talk about it over coffee. And for those of you who have seen the Luke Cage miniseries on Netflix, no, coffee does not mean sex in this particular instance. I'm talking about actual honest to God coffee provided to us by our friends, not provided by them, but made available through our purchasing power, but produced, I guess is the right word, by our friends at Black Rifle Coffee. Yes, it is a shameless plug. No, they are not paying us to say this. I'm just a fucking fan.
Same. They're okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, they are paying me to say that.
Oh yeah, they are paying you to say that. Yeah, that halftime show last night, no interest in watching it at all.
I watched not even a single second of it.
I came in here and typed out a paper that was due for my one of my classes today.
Perfect. But a way better use of your time.
I mean, I was effectively managing my time, and I was using it effectively. I was multitasking.
I'm very proud of you.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and I explained to my wife that, you know, it's not that I don't like Rihanna. It's the fact that Freddie Mercury is turning over in his grave because that man single-handedly wrote songs like Bohemian Rhapsody. Well, it took 14 people sitting in a room for a few days to come up with the melody and the tagline for Work, Work, Work.
Yeah.
The dumbing down of America and the overall global society is upon us, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know what we are talking about, I implore you to watch the Mike Judge cult classic, Idiocracy. You're welcome.
Wait, Mike Judge did that?
Mike Judge did that, yeah.
That actually explains quite a bit now.
American Express, yeah.
Yeah,
Bro,
that's a documentary. now.
bro,
It's not even
electrolytes. It's what plants crave.
Water, like out of the toilet.
If you pray it out of the toilet. But nobody can dispute the undeniable cultural classic that came forth from that movie. Ow, my balls. Or we can't forget the cinematic Academy Award-winning movie that played in theaters for what, months? Ass. Right? Again,
Absolutely.
if we're speaking Klingon to you people, just go out there, watch Idiocracy. You'll come back with a whole new outlook on life. Much like if you work in a cubicle and you watch Office Space and go to work the next day. So
Exactly.
all right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to a very rough ending of a very short, choppy, and in your face, much like David likes it episode. I'm Johnny Scott.
I am Chris Decker.
And you have been gloriously invited and partaking in another episode of Angry Me Productions Nerd Sports. This is episode 95 or 96. I think it's 96. Yeah, it's 96. All right. Peace out, everybody.
Laters.